This is Luke Radowski of WeAreChange.org, and I am outside here at the last day of the Bilderberg Group meeting. It is over, so we're doing a little recap. I am joined by the one and only Mark Anderson of the American Free Press. Mark, protege, of course, of the one and only Jim Tucker, legendary Bilderberg researcher, the guy who broke the story. Mark, what's the recap here?
Well, we have a difficult situation for the protesters this year compared to Watford in England last year in this free speech zone, double fenced with a hard rocky surface, dust blowing all over. It didn't dampen their spirit though, and the numbers may not be as great as last year, but the spirit's high. We saw a Diederik Samson from the Dutch Parliament attending Bilderberg come out and at least ostensibly explain generally what they're up to a little bit.
Somewhat in his PR kind of rhetoric way. He came out here, gave a short interview, and then he said he was given permission to come out again. Came out here. He actually followed me on Twitter and DM'd me saying he's coming out beforehand. But I told him to meet me over there. He didn't meet me, so he's following me on Twitter, so he's probably watching the video. So hi, Diederik. Good PR game. I wish I could have gotten to talk to you. The opportunity is still open, by the way. Sorry.
Absolutely, and I would extend that opportunity by phone, email, or otherwise, Diederik. But whether it was a distraction or a diversion, at least he did come out, and that being one of the new things this year. We haven't really seen anything like that before. Yeah. We've seen a couple of journalists arrested or harassed. You've been harassed at the airport. One I know was detained. Another videographer that brought a drone with a camera mounted on it, I know was put overnight in jail. He's from Czechoslovakia. Yeah. So we've had some of that police harassment and sort of thing going on.
On a major level. I mean, we were arrested just for asking questions. We were just banned just a couple minutes ago from the Copenhagen airport, yes, where literally the police and Bilderberg security guards came, made up laws, and said we can't even travel within a certain amount of time. I think we have a travel ban. So even if we had a plane ticket, we are not allowed to use the Copenhagen airport now. And that's me and Dan Dix and Lena over there. And these are new rules, which obviously proves that these people, these elites, just bought off the police department, and it's for and by them, which is just ridiculous.
Oh, absolutely. You know, a public service like police is not to be suddenly for 4 days the private domain of the rich and powerful. They can afford to bring their own secret service, their own administrative and protection of any sort they want. These police are not for sale. And that being said, the Bilderberg Group, of course, is dead set on their transatlantic trade and investment partnership. That's an EU-U.S. trade deal. Important to note that they treated the EU delegation to the United States is meeting with state governors, is meeting with city municipal officials, including Austin, Texas. This EU-based lobby, which is on K Street in Washington, that's where their office is. The EU in the United States, the EU delegation in the United States is lobbying local officials as we speak, which accents Bilderberg goals and Bilderberg objectives, along with the Trilateral Commission, the brethren group of the Bilderbergs. That's what's going on while we're in Copenhagen. That's the kind of lobbying that's going on in the United States to get that EU-U.S. trade deal going, to create this transatlantic community, this Atlantic community that they've dreamed about since the beginning of Bilderberg 60 years ago this year.
Is this why you think that the European press this year has really been extremely soft and really hasn't put a spotlight on the Bilderberg Group like they usually do? This year has been very different than other years, because usually the Europeans pick it up and they cover Bilderberg Group a lot. This year, you don't see that a lot at all.
No, it's really disconcerting. In the early days, there was Westbrook Pegler, a lone columnist who heard about Bilderberg. Tucker picked it up in the 70s. Jim Tucker, my predecessor, he helped, not alone, but he was largely responsible for raising the European awareness. We saw the European news, as you say, Luke, peak. Maybe it peaked out right around 2011 in Switzerland. It was still pretty good last year in Watford, although a lot of it made fun of the protesters and demonstrators and alternative media. But now, you're right, this year we're seeing a tapering off. I'm not the only one seeing it. You're seeing it. Others are seeing it. There was only a flutter of it in the Politik and the big newspaper here locally in Copenhagen, but not in the hard copy. Only one day online, and that was on the 30th, the day after it started, May 30th. And I haven't seen much, if anything else. Not all of it is English language papers. It's a little bit of a tough read for some of us. But long story short, you're right. The European media, the mainstream European media, is dropping the ball, and that's it creates a void for us to fill, but it's still very regrettable.
And they have definitely failed us. You just look at Bilderberg in the search terms, and you don't really find much at all except for the alternative media, which I think is becoming the new mainstream media with people like yourself and Dan Dix, which we're going to talk to in a little bit. We're going to talk to all the guys here in just 1 second. But any other final comments on the last day of Bilderberg? Any other breakdowns that you want the people to know out there?
Well, I think keeping in mind this lobbying that's going on in the U.S. and elsewhere by the EU delegation, you can look that up online with the K Street address, and these behind-the-scenes thing, the connections to the Trilateral Commission that just met in Washington in April. Keep connecting the dots, ladies and gentlemen. Watch the Atlantic Council. Watch things about the transatlantic community. But the big thing is this is the 60th year of Bilderberg's, 60th, their 62nd meeting, because they met more than once in the early days. They started in 54. We got to close the book on this private government from behind the throne. We're here because we have to be, not because we want to be. We don't want this happening. The right thing to happen is for them to stop the private government.
Mark, thank you so much. Check out Mark Anderson. His link will be in the description below. We're going to go on to Dan Dix. Thank you so much for everything. Now we're joined by the one and only Dan Dix of PressForTruth.ca. He's been very nice to let me stay in his hotel room, and we've been working our asses off tremendously almost every day from top of the morning, working, running, standing, filming, being harassed and intimidated, and then going back, editing all night, and doing it all over again. It's been really, really difficult on our bodies. As people know, I got fever, I got sick, I just felt like a bus hit me one day, and now sadly I passed that on to Dan Dix. Dan, we went through a lot. We were arrested here for simply asking a question to the organizing committee. We were intimidated and harassed and shoved by all the police officers. We did many confrontations of Bilderberg members. But what sticks out to you the most? And also, we just got banned from the airport as well. What sticks out to you the most from this whole weekend coverage of Bilderberg since it's over now?
Well, I mean, getting arrested, that's a first for me for my first day in a new country, to be thrown into their jail cells and taken downtown. As you said, just like about an hour ago, we were banned from the airport. Yeah. Just as soon as we walked in there, they surrounded us and knew who we were and just said, yeah, you guys can't be here.
Yeah, but because I'm sorry, it's just difficult for us because we try to assert our rights, but we are in a different countries. We are foreigners. We are immigrants. Yeah. We're illegals in a country. So it is kind of difficult, but we still, Dan made a good stand a couple times, you made a stand a couple times, but there's only so much we could do, so I hope people understand. Sorry, go ahead.
I do have a highlight for me, though, of this Bilderberg, this particular Bilderberg. We had an unbelievable opportunity where I was walking around, and all of a sudden, right behind me was Peter Sutherland, chairman of Goldman Sachs, Bilderberg steering committee member. And I just had to take the opportunity and ask him about Bilderberg. So I flipped on the camera, turned around, started talking to him. And we walked and talked and chatted for a little while. He had a young, new, up-and-coming Bilderberger, first time there this year. And so I kind of warned the young guy that, hey, listen, man, I think they might be trying to bring you into the fold and see if you're going to be willing to play along. I don't think you're necessarily into anything nefarious, but I think these guys are. I'm giving you fair warning. These guys are trying to recruit you right now. And talking to Peter Sutherland, we had a nice long walk and talk, and then unbelievably, we ran into you.
Yeah, because I was confronting the Kraft family, the husband and wife team, Kravitz family, excuse me. And I was walking down the street with them. They ran into a museum, so we couldn't get in there. And as we were done confronting him, I see Dan Dix with Peter Sutherland walking up to him. Yeah. And as soon as I saw you guys, I was like, oh man, this is too much perfect of an opportunity. And we tagged you pretty well. That sounded weird. Anyway, Peter Sutherland, freaking the board member here of the Bilderberg Group and also a member of Goldman Sachs, he was swiping the camera. He was really trying to run away. He was sweating up a storm. I had to take out my bandana, and I was like, hey, man, you're really sweating, man. You should wipe some of that sweat off. He had to run around, and then another Bilderberger picked him up in his car. I tried to get shotgun. It didn't work. But the video is going to be coming out soon on PressForTruth.ca and on YouTube.com/WeAreChange. Any other memories here from Bilderberg 2014?
I'm overwhelmed with the generosity and the support that we've been getting. People here in Copenhagen have been incredibly friendly, incredibly helpful. It's been amazing. We've had an incredible tour guide, I guess you could say, who's been showing us around, helping us this entire trip, showing us where to go, how to get around, how to talk to people. So I'm just very, very thankful of the amount of support and appreciation that we've been getting here. It's been incredible, and it makes our job a little easier when we have people, that kind of support backing us when we come to countries like this.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, the people are really amazing. You guys online are there for us, and I think that's why we're out of jail, not facing charges, because of the outpouring of support, because of all the phone calls, because of calling the embassies. I heard a lot of interesting conversations happened because of us who were in jail. But the people here are all so great. I mean, I came down with just the most insane kind of pain yesterday from my teeth, and people just came here with Advil and just helped me out immediately. It's been really a humbling experience. Even though we have to go through the run of the mill, even though we have to go through some of the harassment and intimidation, it still has been a very beautiful experience, and Denmark is still a very giving, loving country. Anything else?
No, that's it, man. Looking forward to getting back and editing this Sutherland video, so you guys can stay tuned for that. We'll have that up very soon, and stay tuned. PressPursuit.ca, WeAreChange.org.
Awesome. All right, we're going to go to our amazing tour guide, Lena, here. Lena has been doing amazing work, helping us out tremendously, showing us around, translating, and she's also been caught up in the mill. She's been assaulted by the security guards of the Bilderberg group when we were detained for simply asking a question. She's also been banned from the airport with us. Lena, how has your experience been with us? Have you ever been around so many police officers and interrogated and harassed?
So crazy.
What's your thoughts from everything?
Well, the police suddenly become privatized instead of doing their work for us, the public. They harassed us and kicked us out of the airport, and
They hurt you. I mean, they hurt your leg.
but that wasn't the police. That was security of the Marriott Hotel.
Yeah, on orders of the Bilderberg group.
Yeah.
So how's it hanging out with me and Dan? I know it's been pretty crazy. Have you ever been around so many police officers and been intimidated as much?
No, I never actually seen so many police officers here in Denmark together all at once.
Yeah. And it's really interesting because they are doing the bidding of the Bilderberg group. They automatically have become privatized. They make up rules and laws as they go along, and they threaten arrest and they harass and intimidate us anytime they can. And sadly, Lena has been a part of it, standing up for us and translating things. Yesterday, she translated something that the Dutch police were saying when we were filming somebody get Danish when they were when an individual was getting arrested, and the police were talking to Danish. Lena, what did you hear?
With the guy over there?
Yeah.
The police were saying in Danish that we don't hurt him, they're going to put it up on YouTube right away. Don't do anything to him.
Yeah. And then, they took him out back, and we heard from another person that they actually did hurt this person, an older gentleman who was 60 plus years of age, and they dropped him on the floor a couple times. But we weren't there because they took him away to another location and actually did that. So they're very thuggish here. Lena, anything else you want to say about Bilderberg?
Well, this has just been one crazy experience, and yeah, I'm definitely going next year too.
Awesome. Lena has been amazing, human being who has really helped us out tremendously, getting around, translating. So if it's people like Lena that make our work possible. So thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. We're going to keep moving forward here. And we're joined by the one and only Hannah. If you covered Bilderberg, you know who Hannah is. She's an amazing photographer, independent journalist here, snapping away. How are you doing, Hannah? How's everything? What do you got right now?
That woman, that Turkish journalist woman, and some other man with a moustache, they seem to be leaving together. Oh, they must both be Turkish, because the countries seem to... the delegates from the same country will leave together because they often travel together. We had all the Americans going, the American contingent going recently. Murray Kravis, Henry Kravis, Roger Altman and Bernard Rubin, they all left together, and they'll be catching a plane back together, probably private jet actually. I'm really sorry.
No, it's okay, don't worry about it.
I can talk.
Yeah.
I just want to keep an eye out because, you'd hate us to miss your favourite Henry Kissinger. He hasn't been seen coming out yet, and he's due out any minute, we think. Etienne Davignon's just left. Most of them have left. The Queen has left. So, Kissinger, he moves quickly for an old man.
He sure does.
So I'm just keeping an eye out because I missed him on the patio as well. I just turned my back for 2 minutes And he'd gone in, sat on the patio, chatted to Eric Schmidt, and then nipped back in again.
Yep.
So, anyway.
You have to be right on it when you're here covering Bilderberg.
You turn your back and you miss them. But I have to say that this. Sorry, let's just see if that's anyone. Is it?
Right now, we are just outside as the Bilderberg Group meeting is ending, and all these people are leaving to the airport. Hannah has been helping us also tremendously. She's been spotting and calling the names out of individuals.
I wish we have to revise next year. The problem is, well, I don't think we're going to get this view again.
Yeah.
So this is why I just want to get as many pictures as possible now, because next year when we're, a kilometre away and it's like a big metal fence and we can barely see the limos go by, we'll be thinking, why didn't we make the most of this tremendous opportunity to see the Bilderberg participant in its natural habitat in the wild? You can't scare them. You have to make no sudden movements. It's like wildlife. Anyway, thanks a lot.
They're very fascinating creatures, to say the least.
They are, but I think we've done really well covering them this year. We've got loads of footage, and you particularly with your running around Copenhagen. I mean, maybe we will see it again, but if not, we can just remember the glory days of 2014.
Yep. And we definitely got the Zoom, special zoom lens footage just released right now on youtube.com/wearechange. It's the video before this, where PrisonPlanet.pl was humble enough to lend us their extreme zoom lens, and we were able to get really up close and personal with these amazing creatures called the Bilderberg Group, who take over an area that they inhabit and plunder and destroy every form of freedom that exists. Now, I hope you guys have been enjoying our coverage. It has only been possible because of you guys watching the videos, sharing the videos, and also helping us by buying t-shirts and donating, because without you guys, this independent media coverage would not be possible. We have a lot more exciting videos coming to you, so don't forget to subscribe. If you like this video, click like. Also, check out our Indiegogo campaign, so there's more of us, more independent journalists out there who are willing to go through all the insane amount of security to give you stories and videos and confrontations that the mainstream media is not willing to do. The description will have all the links below. Thank you again so much for watching from the bottom of my heart.